Hello everyone, my name is Komei Shimamura. I'm a software developer engineer in cloud computing department in Cisco Systems. So we are mainly working on the log and metrics analysis from the cloud OpenStack clusters and try to handling or scheduling, optimizing cloud computing OpenStack resources based on the data-driven decisions. So we need a lot of the real-time data processing pipelines. So today I'll talk about how do we deploy the real-time data processing systems on top of the OpenStack cluster. So the project name is SARS. So our main goal is two things. One is deploying data processing pipeline on top of the OpenStack cluster quickly without any difficult manipulations. And the second is managing the pipeline after the deployment. So currently, our Surge project supports the Apache Kafka and Apache Storm as a component of these pipelines. And we try to manipulate the pipelines. For example, our need is the user needs to quickly deploy and even destroy, and also the configure in real time for such pipelines. Especially it's likely to happen changing the configuration after the deployment, because at first time, so we, for example, expect that we need some resources, but after that, the data or the log and metrics is high load more than our expectations. So we need to scale up and deal with these cases. So we need to configure in real time. So I think that someone have wondering for the Apache Kafka and Apache Storm. So let me try to give you some brief overview of Apache Kafka and Apache Storm. So as a first, we support for the Apache Kafka as a component of a pipeline. The Apache Kafka is high scalable and the publish subscribe messaging broker. So the interesting part is they can not only used for the sharing data, but also they can deal with high load streams like as a buffer. So it's commonly happens, especially for big data analysis areas, the data is very high load. So we can use Kafka as the buffer of this high load stream data. And the second is Apache Storm. So this is mainly for the real-time computing on our systems. So this can enable the real-time data processing, like analyzing the metrics data or analyzing log data as well. So now our support for the Apache Storm and Apache Kafka as a component of our system. But in the future, we will support, for example, the Apache Spark or Samza or other systems as well. So let me show the demonstration for the search. Actually, this search is now the public project, so you can get and you can download and use the Surge project from the under Cisco System GitHub repositories. But for demonstration purpose, we use the graphical user interface version of the Surge. So actually, the graphical user interface version of the Surge is not public now. In the future, it will be public. So to connect, this is the interface of the Surge. So to connect the OpenStack clusters, we activate and we fill out this form like user credential, username, password, and flavor or tenant such data. And then you can activate and you can connect to the OpenStack cluster with Surge project. And then you can make the pipeline. So now there are no pipeline, so let's make the pipeline. For example, you just fill the name. For example, in this case, the my real-time data processing pipeline. So now the status is ready. So and then go to the detail, and now there are no components. So let's make the component. For example, as a first component, let's make the Apache Kafka as a first component. And you can choose any name, for example, like my Kafka cluster. And then you can choose the number of the nodes. In this case, the 3. And if you need, you can enter some configuration directly in this form and save changes. And now you can find the Apache Kafka. And second is you can make the Apache Storm. And any component will have the same configuration form. So you can, if we support for other component, you can do almost the same manipulation operation for this GUI. So now you have the 3 component, and now you can deploy. And after some times, deploy is finished, completed. So now you can find the status is deployed, undeployed to deployed, and then you can do two things. For example, the uploading topologies, it is basically come from the compiling jar file, or second is using the cognitive. So cognitive is also a project which is for the machine which provides you to machine learning as a service. So to use this one, we need to fill out the username, for example, the test username, and the email address, and the password. And then you can enter the dashboard of the cognitive. So it have several components like add row or mass formula, normalization, column selection, remove duplicates, etc., etc. So you can, for example, upload some CSV file from this console, and then you can show this input data. This is the statistics data like mean value or max or median values for each columns. And if you want to do some new operations for these data, you can, for example, in this case, mass formula addition, choose the addition and the column is fair, and like 10 is a constant value to adding these columns. And you can connect these 2 components from the GUI. And you can show and you can operate any data for this data. I think it is a pretty easy way to manipulate operating for the given data. So it is and also it have machine learning services like the linear SVE, linear SVM, or nearest forest. And you can, for example, target parameters survived or not. And you can, for example, change the terrain, how percentage we use for the terrain input or not. You can choose these values. So this is the cognitive. So currently our project, so third project, one of the use cases is this cognitive project, which can provide you the machine learning as a service through the GUI. So the summary is what we talk about now I have yet. So our project is deploying data processing pipeline on top of the OpenStack cluster. So now the Apache Kafka and Apache Storm is supported, and in the future it will be increased with other new project. And now providing you to like one-click deployment and also the changing configuration and scale. And one of the examples we showed the cognitive, which can provide you the machine learning as a service. So as a final is these 2 projects is now on public. So you can find and download and also contribute these 2 projects. Third is under Cisco Systems GitHub repositories, and also the cognitive have 2 repositories. One is under Cisco Systems, and second is StackForge and StackForge GitHub repositories. So any contribution is very appreciated. Yeah, I hope my presentation is that. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and thank you.